Welcome back, everyone. Today's story is about a young man named Syed. Now, Syed didn't come from just any ordinary family. He belonged to one of the most prominent, old money, and highly respected lineages in Tunisia. We're talking about a family with a massive history, deep pockets, and a legacy where sons naturally grew up to become high-ranking diplomats or military leaders. Growing up, Syed had one ultimate dream: to follow in the footsteps of his grandfather and uncles. He wanted to wear the military uniform and become an officer. Knowing the heavy weight of this dream, Syed's father spared absolutely no expense. He invested everything into his son's upbringing, his education, and placed him in the finest schools. But with great wealth comes great danger. His father constantly pulled him aside, giving him the same heavy warning. Son, be careful. Watch out for the bad crowd at school and the hustlers in the neighborhood. Choose your friends with extreme care. A bad companion is not just a distraction, they are a roadblock to your success. They will drag you down and they will destroy you. Don't just pick people randomly. But Syed, with the classic arrogance of youth, would always brush it off. Don't worry, Dad. I know what I'm doing. My friends are good guys. His father looked at them and saw right through them. He knew they were bad news, looking for trouble and chaos. He begged him, Son, please, do this so you can reach your goals. Peer pressure is real. Do not tell me you won't be affected. You will be. Time passed, graduation arrived, and Syed nailed it with high scores. He immediately applied to the police officer academy. He smashed the physical tests, passed the interviews, and then the acceptance letter arrived. It was the greatest, happiest moment of his life. He was officially on the path to becoming an officer. But as the saying goes, the wind blows counter to what the ships desire. Syed completely forgot his father's warning. Overjoyed, the family celebrated, and Syed decided to throw a massive party for his friends. Dinner at a restaurant, a late-night hangout, a movie, all on his tab. They went out, they laughed, they celebrated, and that's when his friends turned on the pressure. They handed him alcohol. Come on, man, you're a grown man now. You're going to be an officer. Look around, guys younger than you are, drinking and living it up. Just try it. Syed gave in. Why not? Let me just try it. He drank. He got heavily intoxicated. After the party, Syed got behind the wheel of his car, completely wasted. On his way home, he lost control and smashed violently into a utility pole. The crash caused massive destruction to public property and crushed several parked cars underneath the falling pole. The sirens wailed, the ambulance rushed him to the hospital. The police ran the tests and the truth was out. He was driving under the influence and destroying government property. A massive criminal case was filed against him. When the military academy got word of this, it was over. In almost every country, an officer cadet committing a crime means immediate expulsion. And that's exactly what happened. In the blink of an eye, all his dreams, his future, his family's pride, shattered. All because he listened to a few words from bad friends. Syed was completely broken. He became a ghost, locking himself in his room for months, drowning in deep depression, refusing to see anyone. His family tried to comfort him. Syed, life goes on. Your destiny is in God's hands. Become an engineer. Get your master's. Get a PhD. Let this mistake be your fuel to start over. But talk is cheap. It's easy to give advice when you aren't the one bleeding. Syed lost all ambition. He wasted a year, then two, doing absolutely nothing. Eventually, reality hit. He had to work. But in this day and age, even university graduates struggle, let alone someone with just a high school diploma and a criminal record. He took miserable, low-paying jobs, working in garages, doing heavy labor. He went from dreaming of a military uniform to being a low-wage worker. He wanted to escape, but he had no money. He couldn't ask his father, who was still deeply disappointed. Every single day, he cursed his friends. They are the root of this plague. They destroyed me. Then came Fathia. Fathia lived in the same neighborhood. She was stunningly beautiful, but she was a manipulator, a street-smart, dangerous girl who hopped from one guy to the next. Syed knew her reputation, so he never paid her any attention. But one day, she looked at him, smiled, and gave him this look of intense admiration. Syed went home, his heart racing. It was the first time he looked at her through the lens of romance. The next day, she was practically waiting for him. They exchanged numbers, and a passionate relationship sparked. For Syed, this love was a drug. It made him forget his depression and his ruined life. He became utterly obsessed with her, buying her gifts, spending every penny he had. His father noticed and stepped in again. "Son, I warned you about bad friends. Now I am warning you about a bad woman. This is the ultimate catastrophe. A woman like her won't just get you into trouble, she will end you. Stay away." Syed snapped back. "Dad, I love her." His father made him promise to drop her, but Syed lied and kept seeing her in secret. The shocker? Syed's entire paycheck was going to Fathia. She was a financial vampire, draining him completely, and he couldn't say no. Seeing how easy he was to control, she started pressuring him. "We need to make this official. Let's get married." Syed said, "I don't have the money to build a life yet." She replied, "So what? We'll live in your dad's villa. Your family is rich. They can support us." Syed explained his family's strict principles, but she played her final card. "Look, I have tons of suitors knocking on my door. If you aren't man enough to step up, I'll marry someone else." Terrified of losing her, Syed told his dad he was marrying Fathia. The news hit his father like a lightning bolt. "Out of all the women in the world, you pick her? A girl known for drama whose voice fills the streets?" His father gave him an ultimatum. "If you marry her, you are no longer my son. You are banned from this house." Syed walked out. He married her. Fathia's family couldn't believe their luck. They saw Syed as a walking ATM. They threw a cheap neighborhood wedding. Syed's parents were left in tears, heartbroken by their son's ultimate betrayal. 3 months passed. Syed was living with Fathia's family, and they quickly grew tired of him. His low-wage job wasn't bringing in the big bucks they expected. So they introduced him to one of their relatives, a hardened criminal with a long rap sheet. They told Syed, "We will teach you a real trade." They taught him how to hotwire and steal motorcycles to sell them on the black market. The illegal cash started flowing. But blood money never lasts. One night, Syed was trying to steal a motorcycle belonging to a young man named Kamal, but Kamal recognized Syed. A violent fistfight broke out. Panic set in. Syed pulled out a knife he always carried for protection. He flashed it to scare Kamal, but Kamal charged at him. In the chaos, Syed plunged the knife straight into Kamal's neck. Kamal fell to the ground, bleeding profusely, and died on the spot. Terrified of the death penalty, Syed grabbed Fathia and fled. They smuggled themselves across the border into Algeria, and from there they escaped into war-torn Libya, hiding out in a rented apartment for 3 years. Life in Libya was a living hell. Syed had 2 kids now, working grueling, back-breaking jobs just to feed Fathia and her children. Then, a bizarre twist of fate occurred. The wall of Syed's rented apartment was a shared wall with a high-end jewelry store next door. A sinister plan formed in his mind. Every single night, after the shop closed, Syed would quietly scrape away layers of the wall, bit by bit, making sure not to make a sound. After weeks of scraping, the wall became paper thin. Encouraged and pushed by Fathia, he waited for the shop's closing day to strike. Fathia told him, "Listen, once you grab the gold, we pack everything and fly straight back to Tunisia." Syed was confused. "Tunisia? They'll arrest me for the murder." Fathia smiled like a lawyer from hell. "Think about it. If you turn yourself in, they'll reduce your sentence because you confessed. You tell them it was self-defense, you'll get 5 to 7 years max, but the millions in gold and cash, I will keep them safe for us. If we run anywhere else, they'll extradite you to Libya, and we lose the money. In Tunisia, the government won't hand its own citizen over to a foreign country." Syed thought she was a genius. He agreed. Midnight came. He smashed through the brittle wall, crawled inside and stole 90 million Tunisian millimets in cash, plus massive amounts of gold, over 100 million total value. They packed the bags, drove like maniacs to the border, and crossed back into Tunisia. Fadia hid the treasure safely. Syed went straight to the police in Tunis and surrendered, claiming Kamal's death was an accident in self-defense. Fadia hired a top lawyer, but justice is blind. He was convicted of robbery and manslaughter and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Syed sat in his cell, but he wasn't completely miserable. He was doing the math. I'll do my 10 years, come out, and I'll have 100 million waiting for me. I'll start a company, a factory, and live like a king. But during his very first year in prison, Fadia filed for a default divorce, claiming she couldn't stay with a convict. She won the divorce, took every single penny of the stolen millions and the gold, and married her former lover. They spent the money living a life of luxury, while Syed was left rotting in a cell with absolutely nothing. And here is the final, brutal twist. The Libyan authorities have already requested Syed's extradition. The moment his 10-year sentence ends in Tunisia, he will not walk free. He will be handcuffed and shipped straight back to Libya to face trial for the jewelry store heist. Syed lost his family, his career, his freedom, and his entire life. This is the tragic end of anyone who turns their back on their parents' wisdom, defies God, and chases easy haram money. Life hits everyone with disasters, but the secret is to stand firm. The blow that doesn't kill you makes you stronger. If you can survive the first storm with patience and faith, a bright future awaits you. But if you collapse and take the dark path, this is how it ends. Stay safe, everyone. Until next time, goodbye.